Bonjour peeps, hi, this is Neshi Wilcott. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page where I do a daily live stream based on the card draw that I do in the morning. And so today's Monday, yes, beginning of the week, and it is November 5th. And I am here in Toma, Wisconsin, broadcasting from Star Nations Academy. And it's actually kind of nice out. It's still cloudy and we're supposed to get rain, but it's actually not bad. It's not bad out. It's like a heavy sweatshirt weather. That's pretty good for Wisconsin. Come on, in November. Yeah. So let's get started with this. I'm going to send and and share, I should say, the show, the live stream. And that way we can remind people that we're rolling here. Hey, Rochelle. Rochelle just joined us. Rochelle, I was just going to start sharing out the live stream. And let's see if I can find it here. Here we are. What I should do is turn down my sound so we don't get all squelchy. There we go. And whoops, I don't like sharing it that way. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to share it out to my news feed and let my friends know, remind them that I am live streaming. Right now, and please join me. There we go. There's one. Hey, Rochelle. Hey, Ann. Annie's in the house too. Good to see you in the chat, Ann. We're just sharing out the live stream right now, and so I'm going to send it over to the closed group for the radio shows or the live stream shows too. Oops, getting ahead of myself. And we're just going to say, please join me. There we go. And we're going to send it over to the Radio Network closed group and also the Academy. There we go. There, it's done. It doesn't take long. I like those quick keys. I say that almost every day, don't I? Yeah. What's new? Hey, who watched Outlander last night? It was the first night of the new season. Yeah, I did. I didn't watch the early one of it. I watched it at 10, and I like Outlander. I read the books. I haven't reread them because I usually do. I haven't reread them because I know that I have to reread where he was in prison, and that's kind of it was hard to get through the first time. Rochelle says, looking for hospital gowns with snaps for my surgery. Doesn't the hospital provide the gowns? Or do you want to take special ones? Is that it? I thought the hospitals provided that stuff. I could be wrong. I've only been, I've been in the hospital once. No, I'm sorry, twice. Once for when I tore my ACL playing volleyball. It was our very first game of the season. We were living up in near Shawano at the time. And had I just dove for the ball, I would have been just fine. But no, it had rained, and so the court was kind of muddy, and I didn't want to get full of mud. So I hedged on it and tore my ACL. Rats. But that was the first time, and that was a laparoscopy surgery. It wasn't that bad. Oh, no, that was 3. I did have a laparoscopy way back in the 80s. And then again, when I had my gallbladder out, and that was, I don't know, probably about 10 years ago, something like that. Oh, you mean for home? Yeah, communication, right? When I read hospital, I had you just in the hospital. I didn't realize you wanted something for home. Well, I hope you find what you're looking for, Rochelle. I'm sure Amazon.com has it. That's one of my favorite places to go shopping. Because when you live out in the middle of the country, getting to a store that would handle something like that, I would probably have to drive at least an hour, maybe even more. Hi, Elise. Elise Miller just joined us. Yeah, I was just asking if anybody else watched Outlander last night. Um, their new season started, and I've been waiting for this for a whole year practically. And I almost forgot about it. Paul's the one who had to remind me. I was working on the magazine, and I get very focused, right, with when I'm actually working on the magazine, in between helping mom and taking care of George and all that. But yeah, so I took the time at 10 to watch that show, the first season. The thing is, I could probably watch it anytime once it's aired, with on demand. So I don't watch that much television. It's on because Paul watches like cooking shows and that kind of thing. It's on, but I'm not really watching. I'm working, and sometimes I'm working from my laptop on my portable desk so that at least Paul and I are in the same room. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Well, excuse me. I have. I don't know. We were working pretty hard this morning. We should have done this in October, but we didn't. Taking care of the leaves in the backyard. We have a lot of maple trees, and so we have a lot of leaves. And let me tell you, when I say a lot, we're talking at least, a 3 or 4 inches deep of leaves. And it was getting really hard to take care of George and doing that kind of stuff with all the leaves. And so we finally got them all raked up, and we don't burn them because then we'd have all the soot then to deal with and George. And so what we did was we raked them onto a tarp and then just hauled them out into the woods and discarded them that way. That way they can break down and become compost, right? Yeah, but that took a lot longer than we thought, and it was a lot of work. And so I don't know. With all of the the raking and the dust and all of that, allergies. My eyes are all itchy too. But it had to get done, and with both of us working on it, we could get it done twice as fast. But we only got half the backyard done. Elise says, filming the last episode of Grace and Frankie, so must be the last season. Bummer. Yeah. Actually, Frankie and Grace, that's another good one. I didn't know it even existed until this past summer. I think that they start their new show. I think it's in 2019. I think, I'm not sure, but I want to see that one too. Yep. And Cindy Lynn, good afternoon. Hey, Cindy Lynn. She said, I missed you all during my birthday celebrations over the weekend. Oh, that's okay. We got the archives, and it's a good thing you're celebrating. You're having a good time. Hey, Julie Hedges is here too. Hello, all. She says, taking a rest today for after long trips and so much going on, listening all tucked into bed. I needed the rest. Hey, Julie, how was the you sang, right? You guys had a musical gig. I think it was on the second, wasn't it second or third? I'm hoping that it went really well. Julie has a wonderful, beautiful singing voice. And so she has partnered up with a good friend of ours, Rob Kendall, who is a great musician. He plays guitar, and they do musical gigs together. Where is it? Something Crow, the Black Crow? No, there's a place here in Toma called the Crow Bar, but I know that wasn't it. But anyway, I hope that you had a good time. in Michigan, and that you guys did really well at your musical gig. Yeah. Yep. So the cards today are very interesting. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had the Oracle card. I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, something like that. And I was curious, I said, Jane, what's the difference between an oracle and a seer, right? And so I had to read about it a bit in this deck of cards, and guess who showed up today? Well, first of all, the first card that came is Seer. And look at this card. Isn't that, I mean, the artwork on these cards are fantastic. It says, see beyond the current situation. See beyond the current situation, right? And so there's just so much to look at in this card. She does have divination cards on the table. She has her crystal ball, right? And did you ever notice that is that with the eyes being covered, right? That happens quite a bit when, especially, we do that quite often in journey work, covering our eyes. Yeah, what else is there? Her rings. There's stuff in the background. I don't know if you can see this, but it's like right here. It looks, I don't know what that is, but it looks like some sort of gems or something. Yeah. I don't know. It has kind of a gypsy feel to it, doesn't it? Almost, not quite a stereotype of it, but it certainly has a gypsy feeling to it. And of course, the gypsies are well known for their readings, right? Mm-hmm. Julie is saying, yes, we performed at the Raven. Oh, that's it. Cafe in Port Huron on Friday. And then she says that we did some adventuring, went to the shores of Lake Huron on Saturday and Sunday, and it was cold and windy. Yeah, I did see your video, that you did, but with the wind, it was really kind of hard to hear you with the wind. Yeah. And Cindy Lynn is also saying, yeah, celebrated a lot and my boyfriend proposed. Oh my goodness. So it was very busy. Oh my goodness. Congratulations, Cindy Lynn. How wonderful. That is that's so romantic. That is. It's very romantic. Uh-huh. Yeah, it does kind of look like a star, doesn't it? Let's see. Well, if you look really, I don't know if we can get the camera to focus that closely, but it's actually something hanging off from the tie backs on the curtain right here on the tie backs. It's hanging off from there. So I don't know, maybe it's some sort of, that's why I thought it was some sort of jewels of some sort, crystals or something. Yeah, very interesting. It's a lot to look at in this card. Yeah. Well, I'm glad things went well for you, Julie. Cindy said, awesome, you guys, would love to see you perform sometime. Yeah, that would be. Actually, I've heard them both, but not at the same time. I've heard Julie sing in person. I've heard her sing. And I've heard Rob play, but not at the same time. Yeah, it'd be really fun to go to a set and listen to them, right? Jam out, dance to them, maybe even. Yeah. So, hey, Stephanie just joined us too. Oh, Stephanie, never late. Divine timing, right? Right place, right time. Right place, right time. She's saying the IEP was amazing. Was it? Did it go well? I hope so. Because man, you had a lot of people holding energy for you. So I'm hoping it went well, and that it's ended up being the best and for your optimal for your son's highest good. Yeah. So the cards today are, for those who just joined us, the first card is the Seer. And it says, see beyond the current situation. See beyond the current situation. And I was saying how the card itself feels very, very much like gypsy kind of energy, you know? And I know, it's kind of not to do a stereotype kind of thing, but gypsies are, that culture is very well known, right, for their connection to spirit and how they work with spirit, right? Let's see what Kyle has to say about the seer. The message is: look beyond your current situation, raise your vibration, and focus on love. Raise your vibration and focus on love. Yeah, Julie saying that often during a reading, I close my eyes, helps me to see better for that person. Absolutely. Hey, Roberta's with us. Right place. Hi, just saw you here. Yeah, good to have you in the chat, Roberta. Welcome. Yeah, I know what you mean, Julie, because there's many times, like in journey work, we do cover our eyes so that what it does is that it helps us to block out the external stimuli, so that we can really focus. But it does a couple of other things. It actually, when we're in the dark and our physical eyes aren't able to see, okay, is that part of our brain, the pineal gland, kind of goes to sleep. It takes a nap. It's put on pause. Okay, and so that you're not in an active mental thought, if you know what I mean. Okay, the pineal gland is activated by light, any kind of light, and especially sunlight. And so when we cover our eyes, usually what we try to do is cover like this, like this part, and yeah, and so that we put our pineal gland, we put it on pause. We tell it to take a nap, right? And so that we can focus on what spirit is bringing through our intuition and how we receive information. Helps us to journey. Yeah. So you're right, Julie. I think many of us do that. Some people don't know why they do. They just do it because it feels right. It feels good. And I suppose it doesn't really matter that you know all the minutia around it, and just doing it because it feels right to do, right? So, yeah, so we cover our eyes. The other thing that it does, when we are in the darkness and we are focusing on listening to our spiritual team, what they're bringing in for us and who they're bringing in to us, or what they're bringing into us. It's a way to be able to take in the information in all of its forms without getting into our mental gyrations around it. We take it in, we absorb it, and then we start to understand it, rather than trying to do the understanding and then doing the absorption. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cindy Lynn saying, just got my son's school to agree to test him and do their LEP. I had to contact the superintendent in the state. Best of luck. Glad went well. Yeah. Sometimes when we have to do that kind of advocate work even for our own children, it really opens our eyes and senses to the bigger picture, doesn't it? And all of the red tape, all of the paperwork, all of the hoops that you have to jump through. And sometimes that's just getting somebody to listen to you, or trying to get to the right person. That's the deal, isn't it? Yeah. Roberta's saying the thing I'm learning is no judgment of it. Yeah, whatever we get, right? And when we're receiving information from spirit, you're right, is to take it in and not judge it. Um, and when we first start out using that gift, right? Sometimes we do that. We do the judgment. Um, we do the mental somersaults to try to wrap our mind around it, right? Um, and then there's also that part of us, I don't know, when you first started recognizing your gift, and this could be when you were very young, right? Or when you decided that, okay, now is the time I want to start using this gift. And maybe now you were an adult. When you first start really tapping into that gift and getting information, sometimes you get freaked out. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody came in to scare you. It's just that you get freaked out because the amount of information coming through, and you're remembering what it's like to be that plugged in. Yeah. Some people go through that. Not everybody, but some do. Hey, Kim is here too. Kim, good to see you in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's see what else Kyle has to say about this card, which is the very first one that came. It's called the Seer, and it says, "See beyond the current situations. See beyond the current situations." Because sometimes what we see on the surface is only a small portion of what's really going on, right? Sometimes there's a heck of a lot more going on underneath all of that, all underneath that veneer. It's kind of like the iceberg situation. When you see the tip of the iceberg, it doesn't look as big as what's underneath it. All right, so here's what Kyle has to say about it. Most Indigenous people have a seer in the family or tribe, which is true. Seers are the intelligent and intuitive beings who serve as direct channels for information on what's going on now and what's about to unfold. Their energy isn't about predicting your future, but about showing you how your intentions are creating it. A true seer will help you see that your intentions can change, therefore you can change your future. The message of this card is to let the clairvoyant within you to rise up so that you can see the way forward yourself with your spiritual eyes. Okay. So, how many people in the chat would say that they're clairvoyant? Now, we have access to many different ways to bring in spiritual information. And we lovingly call them the clairs, right? Clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. There's many clairs. And so for this particular card, they're asking about the clairvoyancy, and that's seen through your third eye, okay? And taking that in. Now, when you're clairvoyant, it's not the same for everybody, okay? And there's so many times I've heard this, and I've even done this myself early on, is that we think that that's the epitome. That is the goal that we're trying to reach, is to become clairvoyant, all right? Now, the chances are is that we have access to many different ways of bringing in information, and clairvoyancy may not be your primary way to bring in information. Maybe you're clairaudient, you hear it, or you're clairsentient and you feel it, right? But you don't see it. And you're not seeing with your physical eyes. You're seeing with your third eye. And so sometimes we get caught up in forcing ourselves to be clairvoyant and doing a lot of exercises kind of homework kind of stuff, to see with your third eye. Um, and that's okay. You can do that. But for me, I take the the easier route. I am more clairaudient, clairsentient than I am clairvoyant. Now, the clairvoyancy for me, when it happens, it happens a couple of different ways. When in a waking moment, in a waking moment, it's like somebody shows me an old Polaroid, kind of flashes it in front of my face. It's like, did you see that? And sometimes I have to ask my team to please, can you show that to me again? Because well, one, I wasn't ready to look at it, and two, I got to do it a little bit slower so I can actually see what's there. And they do it again, right? And it doesn't take long. It's like seconds, milliseconds, that I get this flash of this picture. And then I'm talking to my team. It's like, okay, I think this is what I saw. And I start asking questions about what that was, whatever that they showed me. Other times, when I'm between awake and asleep, it's like a camera aperture. You know how you old cameras, okay, not digital. How you would kind of focus in, you turn, the lens, and so the aperture changes a little bit. It's kind of like that, where it starts out and it starts to open, right? And then I see whatever it is that they're showing me. But as soon as I jump into that analytical mind, that, oh, what is that? What am I looking at? And I start going into to analyze it, it starts to close. So if I relax and just let it happen, I see it. But as soon as I jump into the analysis of it, it shuts. And then I'm laying there going, rats, how do I get that back? Because it was something important for me to see, right? All right. I'm checking chat now. Yep, Roberta's saying absolutely, clairvoyant. Kim is saying not sure. Yeah, I can see that, Kim. Sometimes it happens so quickly, we're not, what did I just see? And there was another time, it was in waking moment. It was right around the time my dad was going to be walking on. And I was at lunch with a friend of mine, and out of the corner of my eye, it wasn't like right here, it was like in my peripheral, right? It wasn't quite ready to see it completely. I could see movement, and every time I went to look at it, there wasn't anything there. And if I just didn't look at it directly, I could see my dad standing there waving at me. And was it being hello? No. So I knew that, the time was short. And that happened in the middle of the day. But it was like right at my peripheral vision that if I turned to look at it, I didn't see anything. But if I just relaxed and just let it happen, I figured out, oh, that's dad. That looks like dad, right? Yeah. So, it's just to be aware of it, really. And Stephanie is saying, I tend to show clairsentient. Yep. Clairvoyant only pops a few times a year. Clairaudient is much more common. Yes. And did you know that for women, for females, being clairaudient is happens more often than being clairvoyant? People that male have more clairvoyancy than they have clairaudient. Who knew, right? Jackie's clairsentient, absolutely. And Tammy, hey Tammy, got here late. No, you're not late. You're right on time. Gonna have to replay. Hi everybody. Yeah, you didn't miss much. This is the first card that came, Tammy. And we're talking about the seer, and it's see beyond the current situations. And I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. We were doing all that raking, and I've got some allergy stuff going on. Yeah. Okay. And Annie is saying, I have been told I am clairvoyant many times in my life, and then I lose the gift and go through rough times. Then I go out into the woods and I meditate and I have my time with God, and silence is sort through stuff, and then it starts coming back. Have to relearn to go through my instincts and believe in that instead of the self doubt. I'm in one of those periods right now. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what happens, Annie, is that when we're really emotional and we're experiencing our emotions, right? When we're experiencing our emotions, or when we start stuffing them and suppressing them, it's harder for us to take in the information that's coming. All right. Now, it's been my experience that that information is still there. It's still coming to you, but it's in the receiving of it that is the stickler. Why? Is because usually when we're really upset and really emotional, we're not grounded, we're not balanced, we're not clear. And so the best thing you can do, and you've already done that, you know that, going out into the woods and getting connected to Grandmother Earth and getting grounded, saying your prayers, but getting that centering, that is going to help a great deal, so that you can take in the information that's being sent to you. The information never stops. It's always there. It's always coming to us. It's just in the receiving end. Yeah. Yeah. And, in the self-doubt thing, I think we all go through that. Yeah. Especially when you're first starting out. And yeah, I can remember those times, not saying anything because I'm going to sit back and see how this all unfolds. Right. And sometimes it's those deja vu moments. This thing is like, wait a minute, I've done this already. And then I realized, oh yeah, that was in that dream where I saw that way back, 3 months ago or 4 months ago. Those kinds of things. So in this moment when you're not feeling your usual happy self, right? Yeah, go out to the woods, get grounded. Ask a tree if it's all right to sit by them. You need help. I need help to ground. Take some deep breaths, because the other thing that happens is we start to breathe shallow. And when we're breathing shallow, we don't have enough oxygen coming in. And what happens is we tighten up. Literally, our muscles, we tense up. So if you can do some deep breaths and to relax those muscles, if that doesn't help, take a hot bath. Get those muscles to relax. Make sure you're hydrated. Yeah. In other words, take care of yourself, Anne. Take care of yourself. Do some self-care. Be good to yourself. Roberta is saying, in clairsentient, dialing it in. Oh, close, right? Exactly. As soon as I jump into the analysis thing, it closes up and it's like rats. All right. Roberta's going on to say, I have moments of the sacred geometry where I see beautiful patterns, and they're downloads that now relax and let it happen. Yep. And it usually happens along with color for me. When I start seeing those sacred geometry, it also comes with color, usually swirling or movement of color. Tammy says, oh yeah, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And here's the rest of what Kyle has to say. He says, clairvoyance isn't just about predicting the future. It's about being able to see clearly enough to create your best future. You are being encouraged by your ancestral guides and angels to see beyond what you think is happening now. Don't allow your ego or doubts to play games with you. Those are head games. Do you remember that? I know I'm dating myself, but we used to call them that in the 70s, the head games. Don't let somebody get into your head. Yeah. Okay. So, and it says, you're being encouraged. Okay, I read that. Don't allow your ego or your doubts to play games with you. Instead of seeing yourself as stuck or lost, know you're in an energetic holding space while the universe recalibrates a path that is more favorable for you. Angels of light are upgrading your energy so your experience can be more enjoyable. You are moving towards something extremely uplifting and enlightening, so stay calm and keep your eyes on the prize. Eyes on the prize. You know, sometimes we call that integrating when we've just been through something that shifted our frequency, shifted our vibration, and then we go through a time of integration, right? Learning how to be in this new vibration, and also adjusting to it. It's kind of like if you would go to up into the mountains, that you would go up into the mountains, and you have at a different elevation, right? That you have to allow your body to acclimate to it. It's very similar to that. And so sometimes when we find ourselves in that lull, that's what's happening, is that we're being recalibrated, integration. And we get impatient with that because what we want now. We don't want to wait for it. I think that's just a two-legged thing. You know, we're a complex creature. And so if we can be patient with it and do what Anne's doing, go out for those walks. Take that time to be by yourself to sort through things, your thoughts, right? Your feelings, your emotions. Get grounded. Take those baths, drink the water, be good to yourself, and be patient with how spirit is going to show you the rest of the way, illuminate that path for you. It'll happen. We're just really sometimes impatient with it, right? Anne is saying, amen, and thank you for the reinforcement. You're welcome, Anne. You're very welcome. And Tammy's saying, yes, patience is needed as we integrate. Yeah. And it's a time where we get to have some R&R, right? Rest and relaxation. If you can, get more sleep. If you can, go to the movies. Go watch something fun that's going to make you laugh. If you live near an ocean or and you can get to the beach, do it. Take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you rather than struggling with why am I not doing this, or why isn't it doing that? Is say, okay, I guess we're in a plateau. We're plateauing, a spiritual plateau. That's what we can call it. Oh, Roberta's laughing. Kim says, patience is hard sometimes, isn't it though? You know what I learned about that? I used to pray for patience. Oh, please help me be more patient. I just want to learn how to be more patient, right? Well, you know what would happen is then I would get opportunities, I would get events, I would get situations where I would have to be patient. And sometimes those events were not comfortable at all. Not at all. And because Spirit was doing exactly what I asked for, and they were bringing me situations where I would have to be patient. I had to learn how to be patient. And then I was in one of those lulls, those plateaus times, and this was, I don't know, mid 2000s maybe. And it dawned on me, it literally light bulb moment. It's like, oh, I got to be careful with what I'm asking for and how I'm asking for it. Okay, let's change this. Instead of saying, help me learn how to be more patient, is that I would be saying, I am patient. I am so patient. I am so good at being patient. I love being patient. I am patient. and things changed. It didn't change like the next day, but it did change. It's like, okay, I guess we get to wait for a while. We may as well, what can we do for 20 minutes? That's what I do now. Okay. Something's downloading because I do a lot of work on the computer, right? Something's downloading is going to take a little while. What can we do? What can I do for 20 minutes? And sometimes it is the breathing. Sometimes it is a meditation. Sometimes it is the dishes or another load of laundry or taking George out and playing catch, and so it's not, we also have to be careful of what we're creating with our thoughts, right? Yeah. Tammy's agreeing. She's saying so difficult though. Yeah. And yeah, Tammy's going, give me patience now. Doesn't it remind you of, was it a Seinfeld episode with George Costanza's dad? Serenity now. And he was just yelling it, serenity now. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Julie saying LOH. Yes, patience. And Kim, very true. Positive thoughts. Yeah, it makes you slow down a little bit and say, okay, how am I going to phrase this? Because I want it to be as positive as possible. And so it makes us kind of slow down and say, okay, what do I really want? How do I really want it? And it helps us to also be mindful of the words that we use, right? Yeah. Hey, Cindy Ferris just joined us. Hello, Cindy. So the seer. So they don't tell the future. They don't predict the future. I don't know how many times I've had clients ask me, do you think that this is going to happen? Do you, because I'm dowsing for them, right? And can you ask if that person is really going to leave their job and it's going to, okay, first of all, no. I'm not going to douse for that because that's going into someone else's life that we don't have permission to do, and that is trespassing. So no, I'm not doing that. And even if that was possible, it would still be a no because you're asking me to predict the future, and that is difficult when we have free will. I could say it's going to take you 45 days and you could make a decision that's going to change that. Or someone else could make a decision that's in the situation and it's going to change the flow of the energy. So no, I'm not going to predict that. But what I can do is help you to remember how to be in your heart. Because you already know that. You just need a little nudge. You need a reminder. You need a reminder to breathe, those kinds of things. Yeah. Julie is saying, looking forward to the dowsing talk. I know, me too. I was going to do the core numbers for the numerology, and we'll still do that. It's just I was dowsing for Elise. It wasn't Elise. I'm sorry, Elise. It was Rochelle. I think that was yesterday. And as soon as I put my pendulum away, my head, my guide's talking to me. They're saying, this is what we're doing on Thursday night. Oh, okay. Well, we can certainly do that. Easy peasy. All right. So the second card. I'm going to sneeze again, you guys. I can't believe I did all that raking for those people who showed up later. Paul and I were raking leaves and, allergies. Allergies. All right. So here's the second card. Oracle. It says, wait for important information. Wait for important information. All right. Now remember, the seer card said, see beyond the current situation. And then we're being told, wait for the important information. Talk about patience, right? So these two female ascendant cards are telling us that the situation that we have in front of us is that look at the surface, but there's more underneath. There's more there. Got to go deeper. All right. So we're sensing, we're asking our spiritual team, help us with clarity and understanding. Show us what's really here. Tell me what's really here if you're clairaudient. Right. And the second card is to wait for important information. In other words, don't force it. Wait for it. It could be in that integration, that plateau, that time that it's actually a gift, where we are kind of in that lull. Right? I noticed today, and it's probably has more to do with the time change than anything else, but what I noticed today is that it's almost as if time, I don't want to say is slowed down, but there you can fit more into it comfortably. All right. For me, time goes by so fast that it's the morning is like one day and the afternoon is another day. Okay. If that makes any sense. But the feeling I had today when I would look at, say, okay, what time is it? All right. Because I have to get mom snacks, right? It's like, man, it's only 9:30 and I've gotten so much done already. I'm going to take George outside and we're going to go play. We went for a walk in the woods. We were running around in the woods. And so I don't know if you noticed that, but Annie, it could be that this is more than just you, okay? This could be what we're feeling is more across a lot of people. More like a collective, right? That maybe we are in that lull. Maybe we are in that time of some integration, because you know what? There were some changes that went on in everybody's life that's been on this feed for like 3 weeks. We've been talking about change coming, change is here, the shift is here. Now you have to ground it to the earth plane. You have to have a plan on how you're going to get from here to there with your spirit team's help. So it could be that this is what these cards are telling us, is that we are is the situation is look beyond what's on the surface. Look deeper. Sense deeper. Sense it deeper. That's a better way to say it. Don't force it. And wait for the important information to come. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Anne is going, yes. Stephanie, every action changes the possible outcomes. That is one of the reasons Cassandra went insane. Exactly. And, and there's universal laws that we all live by. We might not know it. We might not consciously know that, oh, there's a law of thermodynamics, there's the law of cause and effect. Yeah, karma. So we're in this time of integration. I was going to say try. Don't do that. Be in a space where you can see it as a gift. And that space is really from your heart, right? When we can be in our hearts, and we want to be in this integration because it's a gift. It's going to help us understand at a deeper level the shift that just happened. Whatever you manifested that came into the physical world has changed your life. And so we need time to calibrate. We need time to integrate. So see it as a gift rather than sensing it or wanting it to be more of a stressor, right? That you're not getting it or something's not right or it's taking forever. Is if we can be in that space of in our hearts and saying, okay, we have this opportunity to slow down just a little bit, enjoy ourselves, take care of the body, take care of the emotions, be kind to ourselves. Anne is saying, these cards are right on right now. I have to use patience right now, not my strong point, and wait for important information to devise my plan. Lots of changes going on, and my guides are very active right now. I know I'm not alone. Exactly. Anne, you are in the right place at the right time. We all are. It's called divine timing. Right place, right time. Right time, right place. Let's see what Kyle has to say about the oracle. I know that we've had the oracle before, but it's been a couple weeks. So let's see what he has to say about the oracle. The message is be open and receptive to information. Gather facts so that you can make a decision that's in line with your integrity. Gather the facts so that you can make a decision that's in line with your integrity. That's a big one. The oracle is the truth speaker and the insight bringer, the ancestor who will be your best outspoken girlfriend, one who will tell you exactly what you need to hear to move forward. In this deck, she is reminiscent of the Oracle of Delphi, a psychic priestess of ancient Greece who is able to receive information and make predictions. She holds a bowl that has sacred smoke rising from it, bringing the message to look beyond all you can see and gather information in order to make an accurate evaluation of your current situation. So both cards are really telling us to look deeper, see what's on the surface, but know that there's more underneath it. Right? And so the smoke is rising. She's gazing into the smoke, getting the information from spirit. Yeah. Angels and ancestors in the universe are speaking to you at this time. So look and listen for important conversations, signs, and messages that will point you in the right direction. You're being guided to wait for more information before making any fast moves because of the moment you are letting your wants get in the way of your needs. There is an opportunity for you to see everything clearly at this time, but you will only be able to do so if you are willing to truly open your eyes. In other words, we have to be honest with ourselves. When we get the information, okay, we all have one of those friends, girlfriend or boyfriend, one of those friends who are so honest, blatantly honest, that they will tell you to your face when you really screwed up or when things are, we all have one of them. This is something similar to that. We may be getting information that we're just going to go, oh my God, no, not that. Or it's like, holy cow, holy smokes. Okay. Is just to take in the information, take in the facts around that information so that you can make a good decision. That is your soul deciding. That balancing between the head and the heart, right? It says that if you've been waiting for further information about a choice you have to make or action you have to take, don't take matters into your own hands. but let what needs to be revealed be revealed. Then you'll know what to do next. Angels are supporting you at this time. Trust them. So now is a really good time to be talking to your spiritual team. Yeah. So, saying, okay, there's more going on here. Please help me to see, feel, sense this as clearly and as we possibly can. And then wait. And when you start seeing those signs and those synchronicities, getting some information, maybe through communications, is to have that conversation with your spiritual team. Yeah. All right. Kim Black is saying, I need to appreciate my gift. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Cindy is saying, maybe it has to do with tomorrow's vote. That there's always that possibility, Cindy, really. Because, all right, when you look at it on the surface, many of us don't like what the heck's going on the surface. But remember, that is just the veneer. That's what corporate medias, wants us to see, wants us to feel. But that's on the surface. There's a heck of a lot more going on underneath it all, in so many levels and so many layers, right? And so there's some truth to that, Cindy, I think, is that there's more going on than what we know. And Roberta's saying, heard today, change from cleverness to bewilderment. Cleverness to bewilderment. Wow. Well, the other thing that just came through is that we're kind of in a space of betwixt and between. That's what those lulls, those times of being recalibrated, right? Is that you're betwixt and between. And in the old Irish and the Celtic, they have a saying that the magic is in the betwixt and the between. Now, that could be taken in a physical sense. It can be taken in a spiritual sense, a mental, and the emotional. Why? Well, the old Irish, they believe that fairies and nature spirits and spirits in general, that they're in between. They're in between. And so when a doorway is in between, you're not outside, you're not inside. A window is in between. You're not inside, you're not outside. If you're in your yard, in your lawn, especially if you live out in the country, you have your lawn and then you have the woods, but there is a space, it's almost like a line, that you're not quite in your yard and you're not quite in the woods. That's betwixt and between. Okay. And so that's where the magic is. That's where miracles happen. And yes, that is where bewilderment can happen too. So the betwixt and the between. Some people find it very uncomfortable to be there in that betwixt and between. But if you can be grounded and you're breathing and you're hydrated and you've gotten some sleep, it is actually a place where you can be relaxed and actually very creative. Those are the places where you have an opportunity to maybe read, draw, write, because you're in that lull. You don't have a lot of pressures going on, right? Yeah. And Tammy saying, totally resonates. Went through a wonderful, horrible purge this weekend. I know it's not done yet, but the stuff has to integrate before I can continue. That's right. You know what happens when we don't allow the integration to happen? We get sick. We catch a cold. We catch the flu. Our back goes out. Our trick knee gets tricky. You know, we're literally made to slow down when we don't allow the integration to happen, when we resist it. Yeah. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but you know, it seems that I don't get sick very often, but when I do, it usually puts me in bed for a couple of days. And so, and it's like, oh man, I guess I was supposed to slow down and I didn't. Now I have to pay the price and really slow down, right? Yeah. Yep. Get sick and stuck energy. That's right. Yes, facts are coming. Gotta be still to receive them. Absolutely. Um, so this is, I know we're at the top of the hour, but this is so interesting. I love this conversation. I don't know about you guys, but so here we are. We have the Seer and the Oracle. And basically what they're telling us is to see what's on the surface, but look deeper, go deeper, wait for that important information, connect with your spiritual team, ask for assistance, and wait because it's coming. You know, and these days, things happen really, really fast. When you ask for something and your heart's in it, yeah, it happens quickly. So, but while you're in the lull, while you're in that space of integration, be good to yourself, right? Take that bath, take that walk, have a good meal, go see a funny movie. Be good to yourself, okay? And we will be back tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central, with the next card draw for tomorrow's energy. Today's was pretty good, don't you think? And please go vote, even if you feel like this is a waste of time. I'm thinking that our energy as energy workers and light workers is sorely needed, and voting is one way that we can put our energy into that system and shift it into maybe a more optimal place, right? All right. And tomorrow, Polly Jola Bay's show, Chakra Sessions at noon Eastern. She's talking about our lymphatic system and our emotions along with our chakras. And she always does a healing meditation with that. So join her at noon. Watch for the notifications. That's Chakra Sessions. And tomorrow night is Communications from Home, my weekly show. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. And my guest is Leslie Serenesi, and she is an animal communicator. She writes for us as well for Star Nations Magazine. But she is going to be talking with George, my soon-to-be four-month-old puppy. And we're going to be talking about adjustments when we get a new family member, four-legged family member, and also all things puppy questions. So join us, right? And Wednesday, Polly Joe's back for Soul Connections, and that is an hour and a half of healing and divine messages. Healing meditation, the first half, and the last 30 to 45 minutes or so is mini readings, card draws for you. So join us there, okay? All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. And Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for, until we see each other again. Love you guys.